What's up, everybody? This is Dario Hump with Living Life Fearless, and I'm back for my reaction to Meek Mill, Dreamchasers 4. Yo, Meek has had a tough run of it lately. He had his most successful album last year, but instead of celebrating that, he was busy taking shots from left and right from dudes like Drake, Game, and even his hometown homie, Beanie Siegel. All at the same time while dealing with the legal system and being put on probation and all types of other nonsense. All that's enough to kill off most artists' waves, especially ones that have just kind of started getting their feet. But somehow he still managed to weather it all and still get people excited for the stuff that he's got coming out. He's been teasing Dreamchasers 4 for over a year, and finally it has come out for everybody to hear. For me, mixtape Meek Mill is always better than album Meek Mill. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's a little less structured and he doesn't have to answer to many people, but it's always where he produced some of his best stuff. The production in particular seems to benefit the best from his mixtapes because he doesn't have to answer to anybody and he can just put out the stuff that he likes, and it always comes out to be some of the hardest beats out of any of his projects. I think it's safe to say at this point that he is the king of hype intros, and that continues with On the Regular, which is yet another epic intro. It starts out with like these cinematic Goldberg-esque horns that open the song up, and then they combine with like these monstrous bass kicks and percussions that really take it over the edge. It's a fire intro and he really goes in. Liddy is another high energy track. It's got a hard hitting bass and it's got a really filthy drum loop, and it's something that's probably the favorite song for a lot of people, and it's a song that you'll definitely hear in the clubs getting run back over and over again. But the whole project isn't all high tempo and bass. He actually shows a lot of versatility with songs like Blue Notes, which is probably one of my favorite songs off of DC4. He's got this surprising blues guitar playing through the background. Shine has a very large gospel sounding production, complete with, choir voices and piano keys. It sounds very much like a victory lap of sorts. For me, there are a few generic beats on the tape, like The Difference and Froze. And while they're not terrible, they just sound like a lot of other stuff that's already coming out. But for the most part, the production is pretty stellar. If you didn't like me before and you didn't like the way he rapped, it's not going to change your opinion because he's still screaming through every lyric, rapping about the streets, his Rolex, and his cars, and trying to stunt in just about every verse that he spits, except for a few occasions where he gets a little personal. But I personally like Meek because he does actually have bars and he can put together some very dope verses. And songs like Tony's Story 3, which he continues the saga of Tony's story, it really shows that he can put together a compelling story when he puts his mind to it. It's not just all stunt bars. My only gripe is that at times it can almost sound like he's recycling some bars just because of how similar the subject matter is throughout the project. But despite the jokes, the memes, and everything he's been going through, I think he did enough to solidify himself, and he did what he should have been doing all along, which is just let his music speak for itself, because the music, when it comes out, especially in mixed form, is actually pretty good. And on one more note, I think it's very dope that he always puts a little Snoop verse out there for the people, and it really makes you wonder like how good this person could have been, because every time I hear him, I gotta run it back a couple times. I just feel like the kid had it. Have you guys heard Dreamchasers 4? What'd you think about it? Do you think it lives up to the hype? Has it done enough to silence all his critics? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to head over to Living Life Fearless and leave your rating for the album.